Need some water, a brush, a rolling pin, some powdered sugar, a little bit of black fondant, some beige fondant. I got this color by mixing white fondant with a little bit of brown and a tiny bit of yellow. You'll need red fondant, black food coloring, brown food coloring, a knife or a fondant cutter, and some shimmer pearl dust, and a little bit of white fondant. So you're going to roll out your beige fondant and cut it out into a rectangle, and you're trying to make it thinner on one end since this is going to be the top of the dress. So with a knife, I'm just going to cut out a neckline. You can use a piping tip to cut it out as well, like I showed you in my pink dress tutorial. And I'm just shaping it with my finger. Using the same piece from where we cut the top, we're going to cut out another rectangle about twice the size of the first one. You want to round out the bottom since this is going to be the bottom of the dress. Now I'm going to take some brown food coloring and I'm going to take my paintbrush and dip it into some water. You can use alcohol or an extract for this, but water works fine for me. So dip your brush into the brown and start making spots. You'll notice that I didn't mix the color first, so it's darker when I start painting and then it gets lighter as I continue making the spots. To lighten up the color for the dark spots, I paint until all the color on my brush runs out, and then I go back with a little bit of water so that the spots that were originally really dark get lighter, and then I just use that color to continue painting. Make your spots very random, making some smaller, bigger, and squiggly. Painting is going to take some time, but the result is amazing and it's really worth it, so take your time. So when you're done with the brown spots, take some black and start making C shapes around the brown dots. Make sure to leave some lines thinner and others thicker to give it some variety. And don't go all around the spots, just continue making small C shapes. When you're done, take the piece and on the flat edge side you are going to start to fold it. The reason why I'm not letting the paint dry first is because if I let the paint dry, then the fondant is going to dry too. So if I try to fold it after it's dry, it's going to crack. You can also fold the piece first and then paint it. That is going to work fine as well. Fix the dress so that the folds are throughout the skirt and use your brush to help you. The goal is to have the folds going through the skirt just to give it more of a dress-like shape. And every time that I touch the paint, since it's still wet, I wipe my hands with some wet, or with a wet napkin. And this is only if you decide to paint it before you fold. So once folded, you want to pinch the fold, and with the paintbrush, I'm going to flatten it out at the pinch, and then I'm going to measure the top to see if it's the size of the skirt, and if it doesn't fit, just keep cutting the top of the skirt and it'll become wider. Remember to flatten out the cut if you do decide to cut it. Just like this. And then I'm measuring my top again just to make sure that it does fit, and it does. So with a little bit of water on the rolled out section, I'm going to place a little bit of water on it, and this is going to help the top stick to the bottom. And I placed some powdered sugar under the dress so that it wouldn't stick to the board. When this is done, paint some more leopard spots on the top. Now I'm cutting out a piece of black fondant for the belt, and I'm going to glue it on the middle section to cover up the seam between the top and the bottom of the dress. If you have any excess on the sides, just cut it off. Then taking a small piece of red fondant, I'm going to roll it out into a strip, and I'm going to roll it like a cinnamon roll. This is going to help make a small rose. So when you get to the size that you want, just tear off the excess, and you want to pinch the bottom of the rose and then cut it so that the bottom of the rose has a semi-flat back, and we need this when we place it onto the dress. So wherever you want to put the rose, you want to dab a little bit of water and then stick it on. I then put a little bit of water on the neckline, and I'm rolling out tiny bits of white fondant and sticking them onto the neckline to make a pearl necklace. Then I'm going over it with some water, and then I'm placing some luster shimmer dust on top of them to give it more of a pearl-like effect. And it just looks really pretty. So once that is complete, just place it on a frosted cupcake and you're done. Please check out my pink vintage rose tutorial by clicking on the screen. I'll also link it down below. And in the pink dress tutorial, I also teach you how to make small, tiny little shoes to go along with the dress. I hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe, and until the next video, have a safe and a wonderful rest of the week. Bye!